So I explained in the last two videos there, I was trying to explain the whole kind of starting of this, bringing it up to present there now. So I basically explained kind of joining this kind of Baha'i religion kind of thing, living out in Tramore, then taking kind of legal action about it, and how that solicitor destroyed my case, basically removed information. I just want to show some documents there before I go any further. And not sure you can see that there now, see HSC. This is them promoting this religion there now. And this was about a year and a half after I started speaking about the goings on in this religion, and they're tying into to water for Tusla. So like that shows that they're very much like being pushed by the HSE for some reason on water for Tusla. This is a letter then sent down by my ex. You see this? This is from my daughter. You can see the stars she had drawn on the top of it. And that date that's on it, that's actually my birthday. The 28th of 7th. This is 2021. So it's actually only a year ago. So it just shows you what way my ex still is. She's still that kind of like, she's still that kind of poisonous kind of person that she always was. But like that Baha'i had nothing to do with this. Like she wouldn't have had the child write that star on the top of the yoke. Do you understand me? Like, so obviously that star is very relevant to all of this. And as I said, like that star is it was basically to provoke me. It was because this has a lot to do with this Baha'i religion thing. And the person that was recruiting is employed by Waterford Tusla, who had numerous fucking engagements with my family. And I've spoken all this in previous videos. I just want to show some paperwork and all that. So then I was in a psychology class. I explained all this out in Tramore, and this woman's husband was kind of like inviting students occasionally up to his house. This is where these meetings in this religion took place. It was actually up in the tutor's house out in Tramore, out in Clarenwood. And so I wrote to the ETV. I'm not sure if you can see that. ETV. But on the letter, they wrote 2016 in biro on the letter, and then they basically photocopied it and posted it out to me in 2021 to try and make it look like the letter had come from 2021. And they basically said that because I had made a complaint about his actions and his breach of code of ethics, and they basically said that they questioned on whether he was inviting students up to his house regarding this religion, and he basically denied it. But he did say that if he did, it was on his lunch break. So technically, the EETB had nothing to do with it. And also, if he did, it was the students who had inquired about this religion. Now, this is a religion that him and his wife were recruiting for. It's a very obscure religion, the Baha'i. Probably a lot of people want to know it. Well, you know by now, I'd say. But like, what are the odds in the students inquiring to a religion that him and his wife just happened to be recruiting for? So it's completely not the bullshit. Like, so it shows he tried to cover it, he tried to deny it, but at the same time he tried to say, well, if you speak to certain people in the group, they would have supported what I had said. And basically he kind of acknowledged that he might have, but he's trying to say is at his lunch. Either way, he would have been paid for his lunch break, and he would have been on the EETB. He would have been on their time, and it was on their premises. So he should be struck off, not allowed to teach again. After all that drama, I explained, this is all explained in previous videos. I just want to show paperwork, I'm being honest with you. But I went down, I started all legal proceedings and all this, and I explained in the previous videos my engagement with Waterford Tusla, and basically how I felt about Waterford Tusla. So even with them few documents there, it shows the kind of like this Baha'i crowd are very much a part of this, and this is where it all began out in Tramore there in 2013. And that woman that was recruiting that, I explained how she had previous engagements with my family or as a witness in a case, so she shouldn't have been nowhere near my fucking family whatsoever. Actually breached code of ethics. But that's this person like thrives on this. Even this whole kind of like campaign that's going on there with a certain traveller, that's like, it's all psychological, like pushed. Like I could spend all day fucking arguing with their phone now, being honest with you, but there's more important things now to be dealing with. And I think like the whole kind of guards that are behind pushing this needs to be called out. I'll speak about that later actually. But in court, I started all legal proceedings against my ex, obviously. I began all legal proceedings, as I said, and I brought my ex to court. I wanted my kids taken out of this religion, if I'm being honest with you, glorified cult. And I explained I had a male solicitor from Tramore, and I explained the situation to him about Waterford Trustland, their involvement previously with my family, not once but on 2 occasions. So I detest these people. I would never have them in a million years. So he arranged another person to come and do this report, which we had requested, section 22 was called, and that's the report that was there from of Dr. Theresa Green, and she agreed to do the report. She's an unbiased doctor, very good at her job, and she was agreed by both sides to do the report. Now, at that time there, leading up into that, I had a parenting agreement. I'm not sure if you can see that, the camera's probably showing that, but it basically states that I take the kids on a Monday, I took the kids on a Tuesday, I took the kids on a Wednesday, I took the kids on a Thursday, I took the kids on a Friday, the mother had the kids on a Saturday, and I took the kids on a Sunday. So like getting that pushed into court was kind of like pulling teeth, but it shows you like what kind of a father I was right up until that point. And this is right up until I left that bad high and I started telling people about what I knew. If you go back to my previous videos, it explains like some crazy stuff. And during court there, this is all these documents, some of them are online, but this is a letter from Tussle. I signed over my passwords in court. This woman that came to do the report, she was switched from the woman I just spoke about there, Theresa Green. My solicitor switched to this person that was involved in Waterford Tussle. She lied about who she was. I explained all this, told me that she didn't know her, she never had her on her case. Well, this woman, like, she did know her, she had her on cases, she has a name for writing bad reports. Like, corrupt is not the word about this woman. People in Waterford should be very aware of this woman. But she asked me would I sign over my passwords. So now I had nothing to hide, so I signed over my passwords. Like, as I said, I had no issue signing them over, so I signed them over. That's just me trying to get my own passwords back off of fucking Tussle. And to be honest with you, it's still ongoing to this day. They keep running me around in circles saying that I need to contact this and my paperwork is not in order to get back the like records of what I want, because I said I wanted the original document I signed back. And it's virtually impossible, if I'm being honest with you, getting any kind of headway with these people. But my solicitor arranged for this other person to come in. I took my solicitor's word. And this other person came in. She was part of Waterford Tussle. But not only that, she was actually an acquaintance of this Anne Carey, who was the psychologist that's involved in Waterford Tussle, that was recruiting for this religion and had 2 previous incidents with my family. So she should be struck off, and all her actions regarding Waterford Tussle should be like investigated, but they won't because it's too messy. So I started to put 2 and 2 together regarding my solicitor. I got back some of the emails there. I'm just going to read out this email because it's easier probably. I spoke with Marian Men's Network on Thursday, but I didn't want to upset you before the hearing date. Such a person has been calling to the network and has been advised that they are not supervising the access properly. That's basically referring to my ex went over and she got herself barred. These people gave a report for court saying I was a good father and there was no issue and all this kind of stuff. And it didn't suit me ex, so she went over and got herself barred. But as you can see by the first line of this, I didn't want to upset you, so she never told me about my ex being barred. So my own solicitor withheld this information from me, and I was to go into court and this was going to be dropped on me in court, and obviously it would have provoked a reaction. Then they would have said, oh look, he's angry, you have anger issues, and this is what was going on. This is like exactly what was going on there now. But another thing in that is the date. I'm not sure if you can see the date on that. The date is actually the 14th of the 3rd, 2016. So that's important. I'll tell you why now in a minute. So my solicitor had 5 years to retain all aspects of my file. And basically she didn't. I'm going to read out just a letter she sent me. Dear John, I refer to the above matter and confirm that your file was archived after my involvement in the case was finished, and after 5 years it was destroyed. I had no concerns about destroying the file, as I had already given you a copy of the same some previous years. I did communicate this to you by a phone call some weeks ago, and I explained to you that there would be some documentation available which would be printed from our case management system, but this would only contain documents that were generated from this office. We did not scan all post or documents received to files at that time. So what she's saying there basically is she basically admitted to knowing about the 5 years, that she had to retain the file, and that the 5 years was up, and that she had destroyed my file. Now this is dated the 25th of January, I'm not sure if you can see that, 2021. The last letter where she was active for me in court is the 14th of the 3rd, 2016. So like this is like 4 years and like 9 months into it, and she's admitting to already after destroying parts of my file. So for whatever reason, she felt the need to like edit my file or destroy my file, even though there's rules and regulations, like even though LSRA have basically covered for it, if I'm being honest with you. So why have these rules and regulations if a solicitor is allowed to do what she has done and get her actions covered? And because she was able to turn to a local TD who's basically behind a lot of this harassment now going on, like, but that shows like that she had basically destroyed my file or edited it or whatever way you want to call it there, like before the 5 years. She acknowledged the 5 years. The dates from her emails, not even my emails, the dates from her emails show that the 5 years was in fact not up, and that she had already acknowledged to destroying my file. And she's saying that like not all documents were scanned. Like I was sending emails, they weren't even documents, they were emails, so they're in a virtual storage. So in order of deleting these emails, you would have had to go out of your way to log into these things to delete these emails from existence, because it's not paperwork that's taking up space. So basically it shows her and her actions of what she was after doing. So then I moved house. I explained this now in the previous video, you can go back and see. But I wanted a second copy of my file. Someone stole my paperwork, if I'm being honest with you. It's as simple as that. I'm not sure if you can see all these documents. Some of these documents are up online. I had to scribble out the names, but you can see the camera now was pretty shitty. But I had to request 11 times to get a second copy of my own file. I'm just going to read her email actually back to me. To say my tone is threatening. Sorry. They tried to say that I was passive aggressive and threatening in my email, because I was after requesting my file 11 times. So obviously I was getting kind of like majorly pissed off, as you could imagine, after requesting something 11 times. To say my tone is threatening when I had to request my file 11 times. You are again hiding behind this remark, as you have done before. I would like a copy of my file. You are legally obliged by law to retain my file. The fact alone that you edited out anything would raise concerns over your actions. Stop trying to more or less threaten me by saying I am threatening, when it's you in fact withholding editing and being as usual vague and dismissive. I am making a complaint about you and your actions. I would like a copy of my file, not a constant explanation of why you don't have half my file. Now you are trying to make me look threatening to hide your actions again as a concern. I would simply like a second copy of my file. You have numerous times already outlined your excuse for removing so much of it. Now just pass me my file and we don't have to have any contact with each other. So that's basically what I sent to her, because I was obviously making a complaint, but that took 11 requests to get my own documentation back. And the only documentation was on the file was the papers that I lodged through courts, and kind of like, these are documents you couldn't have got rid of, because the courts has a second copy of these. But she removed all the emails, and I explained in my previous videos like this, the crazy stuff regarding like, and she basically fucked my case over, if I'm being honest with you. Oh yeah, another thing on this I just wanted to show. There it is. I'm not sure if you can see this. The camera is shy, it's probably all blurry down here. But it's the 26th of the 5th, 2016. So this is where she's still acting for me. I refer to the above matter and enclose herewith Circuit Court order in triplicate. Please note that a previous order was sent in, however some amendments needed to be made. I look forward to receipt of engrossed order by return and thank you for your kind assistance. Yours sincerely, the solicitor. This is the 26th of the 5th, 2016. Now remember, she's already after acknowledging. So as I said, she's already after acknowledging in the email, sorry, the 25th of January 2021, that the 5 years was up, that she had destroyed my file, and that she was aware of the 5 years, and that she had destroyed my file, sorry. Right, and here you have the 26th of the 5th, 2016, where she was still acting. Now 5 years onto that is actually June 2021. So here she is in January 2021, already after destroying my file. And she didn't even destroy my file. She says she destroyed my file. She edited my file. She took out all my emails that were incriminating. Because as I've explained in previous videos of her actions, like some crazy stuff, and you'll probably have to go back through the videos. But I'm just trying to explain this in order, a little bit more calm, without using so much bad language, if I'm being honest with you. But it shows like these rules and regulations where she must retain the file for 5 years were breached. LSRA, I've appealed now this decision. They basically cover for it, if I'm being honest with you. She lied, she withheld evidence in the courtroom, getting ready. It would have been dropped on me in the courtroom, so obviously it was going to provoke some kind of reaction. Like, the evidence was actually my ex was after getting herself barred out of this place where I've seen the kids up in Dublin. They gave me a letter. The letter was online actually saying how much of a good father I was. They had no issues, and but then eventually she got barred, and they gave me another letter saying that they would never ever deal with her again, that she's never left set foot inside the building before. And basically because they gave me a good letter, my ex wanted this place taken out of the case. So my solicitor withheld all of this to me, and she only acknowledged it in the email because I rang up, because these people were after sending me down a letter, and they were after ringing me and apologising and saying what was after happening. And my solicitor was, oh yeah, I knew. My solicitor then, that she knew about that, and it was going to be dropped on me in court, and obviously would have got a reaction. And any solicitor would know to prepare their client, and they would not have information suddenly dropped on their client in court, especially something like that where I ended up having nowhere to see the kids. So I just wanted to show some paperwork that shows that Bowhoy is involved in all of this, and that woman is she's actually subcontracted by Waterford Tussler. She's a doctor. She recruits for this religion. Her husband was doing it through the class out in Tramore, ETB, 100%. His excuse of saying that the students inquired about the religion to him, and it was done on lunchtime, so it was nothing to do with them. They're ridiculous excuses, if I'm being honest with you. So that brings that up to that actually just shows what went on between 2015 up to 2016. And in my next video now, I want to talk about how David Conan became involved and Waterford Council became involved, and I'll take it then from 2016 to 2017. He rang me the 2nd of the 9th, which was a week ago. So I reported on the 23rd of September an incident regarding the same traveller. He's actually been charged for threatening my mother-in-law, I think, or for using threatening behaviour. He's harassing these people. Everyone knows what it is, never been honest, because he's running around local fucking tattoo shops, that shithole down Parnell Street there, using that as a kind of as a place to park his shitty van so he can harass me in-laws. So this is the person, as I said, that swapped this summons with this detective that they're mad to try and cover up, if I'm being honest with you. And whether he says that he was being a good citizen and he gave it to the detective, and the detective say that he then served it on me, well it was registered post. This was said in court. So either way, my GDPR rights were breached, or if the detective went and got it off of him, it shows not only was my GDPR rights breached, but it shows that these people are swapping fucking paperwork, and people should know. And what did they get? They get employed by Waterford Council. Are you kidding me? I'm funded by Waterford Council, and I'll get to Waterford Council in my next video. So I just want to talk briefly as well. I went out to GSOC there 2 days ago, Wednesday the 9th of 11, 2022, where I gave a statement regarding the corruption in Waterford Gardaí, being honest with you. And I purposely put it up online that I was going out, and the reason I put that up online because I wanted to show that we're being harassed by a local traveller. As we know, this is the person that the Gardaí swapped the information with, or that someone, sorry, with. And I just wanted to show that like he would come down, he'd be foolish enough to park on the road, trying to intimidate me as usual. And lo and behold, he came down and parked on the road, just like I imagined he would. So obviously I took photographs, and we sent this on. I want to speak about that whole kind of meeting in another video further down the road. But I reported something the 23rd of September. The detective said that the guard that came down, 2 guards came down, and they kind of took short statements because I rang it in because I was at them told by GSOC to kind of ring everything in and have it on the pulse system. And he said that the guard never passed on the information to him. So I rang the guard. Obviously I was pissed off. She informed me she did in fact send him an email. I reported the 23rd this incident of this like gobshite basically following me around town. It's the usual shit. And obviously it would have been all captured on CCTV. I drove around all the places that had CCTV, being honest with you. So when I reported the 23rd, the guards came down to me home, 2 female guards. She says she's going to pass it on to the detective that's been kind of involved in the case. And the detective said that she never passed on anything. And this went on for a couple of weeks till I eventually spoke to the guard, and she said, well, actually, I did send them on an email. 100% I sent them on an email, right? So I found out then after 5 weeks, that was that they'd been logged onto the pulse system as some incident report that didn't need investigating. Very conveniently, like, now this is the 4th time this is after happening. This was 5 weeks in. The CCTV footage gets erased after 4 weeks, gets overwritten. So they could have told me on the 2nd week or the 3rd week, you know what I mean? And I could have explained that the CCTV footage needed to be got to verify what I was saying. But they waited until 5 weeks. To tell me this, but the CCTV footage was gone. So like, yet again, another incident of the same person. Now, in the next video, I want to show you how many incidents I've reported. I'm going to show you how many letters that I've sent up to the superintendent. And each letter I get back, it's been sent on to another superintendent. It's been sent on to another superintendent. Nothing's ever done about it. They're so fucking eager to protect this person. And basically, it's because he done the bidding of for cronies of David Cullinane and this detective, because he was going around fucking boasting about it. Should have kept his mouth shut, realistically. But as I said, I could spend fucking like forever arguing with this clown, but like there's more important stuff that I have to kind of like stay focused on, if I'm being honest with you. But unfortunately, that shit, the 23rd of September, rather than investigate it and gather the CCTV footage, because I wanted it all combined to show that there was a campaign of harassment by this person, and like all these incidents that have been reported regarding him shows that it's not just a once-off thing, that there's loads of stuff that he's down threatening me fucking in-laws, hanging around my in-laws, who realistically had nothing to do with any of this. They were just easy targets for this crowd. There's loads of photographs, dozens of photographs, and like 4 times the guards have left the 28 days pass so that they can't gather the CCTV footage. So the guards are like basically protecting him. And as I said, they swapped that summons, which they can't really get out of that. But unfortunately, the 23rd, I recorded on my own phone the incidents of what was happening there now, and I'm still waiting there now, and it's the 11th of November for a guard or a detective or anyone to come and take this kind of videos so they can investigate it and arrest him, and they won't come and investigate. I've offered to send me on WhatsApp numbers, I'll forward them on, and basically I've not heard anything back now since the 2nd, the 11th, 2022. Today's the 11th, so that's like 9 days there now, and there's no one after getting back to me. I keep getting letters from Superintendent Dunn saying he's after passing on me complaints to such and such superintendent, but realistically nothing is done. They're more interested in protecting him, who's basically put up to his harassment there now by a local TD, who's protecting the actions of Henry Halligan, who interfered with me mother's funeral. So this person is he's basically left harass me in-laws. He's trying to intimidate me. Personally, I don't really give a fuck, if I'm being honest with you. He likes to think I do, but I don't. As I said, there's bigger fish to fry, as they say. Like, he's simply a pawn in the game for these clowns. And my next video now, I'm going to talk about the actions of Waterford Council and how 2 of their workers got caught searching my mother's fucking bedroom when my mother was in the bed. Would you believe that? And they're desperate to keep all these emails fucking away from the public. And this was all covered up with the assistance from Waterford fucking Council, 100%. And they basically took a house back off myself and my wife after, I think it was 6 weeks. We were only there 6 weeks, we had to move out, over the cronies of David Cullen. And I'll speak about all of this, and I'll go into depth about it. And as I said, I'll show paperwork to anything that I'm saying. I'll also upload, I want to show like how GSOC deal with their complaints, because I have a couple of issues there now. I had to give me a statement there 2 days ago, which took 3 hours out in Tranmore. I noticed that the investigating officer was working off a file which was after being so heavily edited. Like, it was not what I sent up. So like the file was after being edited by GSOC to virtually nothing, if I'm being honest with you. She wasn't aware that I was after been living out in Tranmore, that this originally began out in Tranmore. There's just loads of stuff that I feel is an issue that should be brought up, and I don't know. I think transparency regarding all of this is the only way. So in my next video now, I'm going to take it from Waterford Council's actions and David Cunnan's involvement. And this all began, remember, with this fucking Bahoy crowd out in Tranmore that I unfortunately got involved in. And then I went through the whole court process where I started all legal proceedings, and the solicitor decided to like fuck up my case, basically. And then she got caught red-handed. And after that, it kind of snowballed. And I suited this psychologist in Tulsa, because it suits her, because the further she gets away from this, the better for her it is. But she needs to be investigated. Like, there's no point in going so far into this where I'm arguing with like travellers and girls and like all these kind of other stupid people, being honest with you. Like, and I feel like the whole network of Sinn Féin, which has been used and abused in aid to assist David Cunnan's actions, being suppressed, not to mention then Henry Halligan's actions regarding my mother's funeral. I will get to explaining everything, and I'll also show the emails that I sent regarding Henry Halligan to the bishop, and how the bishop never acted appropriately in getting rid of Henry Halligan from Ballybeg Church. And all I'll say is, anyone that is out in Ballybeg Church, deal with the priest directly. Do not deal with him. That's all I say, because he can't be trusted. But I just want to emphasise, like, this stuff is all very true. If this wasn't true, I wouldn't be able to produce paperwork that supports what I'm saying. And it's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? They're clinging to the hope that I have some mental illness. This is what there's behind the scenes. I know, like, socially they're saying like all this sexual stuff about me, but like that's to kind of provoke a reaction out of me. But behind the scenes they're saying that I'm paranoid and that I have some kind of mental illness and some kind of shit. I have no mental illness. I've never ever had any kind of mental illness whatsoever. So this is all complete bullshit. And they're desperate to keep what I have to say covered up, and they don't want any journalists getting involved, because they'd rather suppress the whole thing within Waterford in a nice little bubble, and it's being assisted by the Gardaí. Unfortunately, the network of Sinn Féin, as I said, has been abused to cover up David Cunnan's actions. Then you have like Henry Halligan, whose brother is ex-minister John Halligan. So I'd imagine there's a lot of pull there. I'm not saying he has anything to do with it, but I'm just saying there is. I've spoken about children's group link, like the shit that's been covered up in that place for years. Like, it's a long overdue that was called out, I can tell you, rather than changing the name of the place to the fucking Mary Halligan Foundation. Are you kidding me? Like, even changing the name. And in my previous video, you see I spoke about some like weird shit that went on up there. I was actually working up there, and I've got to say in the last video, I was actually working up there twice. And the nepotism that is shown up in that children's group link is a real concern. So I'll update anyway how I go with GSOC. I'll let you know how they like investigate the Garda corruption and all this. I'm not really happy with just kind of like complaining about one or two guards. If I'm being honest with you, I think I think higher up guards up in Waterford Garda station who are very aware of what's going on should also be held accountable. Like you can't not know what's going on. I'll show you in the next video. I'll show you how many like incidents reports and how many letters I've gotten back and how nothing has been done. Like besides like they send down the odd detective here and there to make it look like something is. So I'll report that incident, which was already had to be reported the 23rd of September. But I'll go and report it again, and I'll request that it be investigated and that I have evidence, and I'll let you know how that goes as well. And I'll let you know how GSOC conducts their kind of investigation. As I said, I have some issues about kind of how a person can investigate something. I don't have to be given part of a file. So I find that a serious issue. So I'll leave it at that. And thanks.